Let me ask you something. Why do some people stay calm when everything falls apart, while others break over the smallest problem? Same world, same pressure, same life, yet very different outcomes. The difference is not luck, not talent, not intelligence. The difference is attitude. And before this story ends, you will realize something important. You may not be suffering because life is hard. You may be suffering because of how you see it.
To improve your English while listening to powerful life stories. Subscribe to Listen Between the Lines. And here we don't just teach English. We help you think better, listen better, and live better. Now, let's begin.
Chapter 1. Peter was tired of trying. Peter wasn't lazy. He wasn't weak. He was exhausted. Not physically, mentally. Every day felt heavy before it even started. Every night ended with the same thought. Tomorrow will be the same. He woke up irritated. The alarm annoyed him. The traffic drained him. Small things felt big. Simple problems felt personal. Nothing terrible was happening, yet everything felt overwhelming. Because Peter wasn't living life. He was resisting it. And resistance is heavier than any workload. Pause for a moment. Not for the video. For yourself. Because the tiredness Peter felt is the same tiredness many people carry quietly. It's not the exhaustion that comes from effort. It's the exhaustion that comes from trying and feeling nothing change. You wake up already behind, already stressed, already preparing for disappointment. And even when the day ends, your mind refuses to rest. Thoughts replay. Mistakes echo. Conversations repeat. You lie down tired, yet your chest feels heavy. This is not laziness. This is emotional overload. When your mind never feels safe, your body never relaxes. If you've ever said, "I don't know why I'm tired," this is why. And understanding this is not weakness, it's awareness. And awareness is the first step toward power. Chapter 2. The invisible weight. Peter began noticing something strange. Two people could face the same problem, same deadline, same pressure. One stayed calm. The other panicked. Peter was always the one panicking. A delayed email changed his entire mood. One negative comment stayed in his head all day. He replayed conversations, rewrote arguments, prepared for problems that never came. His body clocked out from work, but his mind kept working overtime. And here is the danger. When stress becomes normal, peace starts to feel unfamiliar. Most suffering does not come from life. It comes from the story we tell ourselves about life. The mind loves prediction. It scans for danger. It prepares for loss. So it imagines futures that never arrive, and the body reacts as if they already did. Your heart races over an email that hasn't been answered. Your stomach tightens over a conversation that hasn't happened. Nothing is wrong, yet everything feels wrong. This is how stress silently grows. Not from events, from interpretation. The mind shouts worst-case scenarios, and peace disappears without permission. If you've ever wondered why calm feels rare, this is why. Your thoughts leave the present long before your body does. Chapter 3. When negativity became identity, negativity didn't arrive loudly. It slipped in quietly, through repetition, through disappointment, through comparison. Complaining became Peter's default setting, not because he wanted to complain, because his mind was trained to notice what was wrong. He noticed who earned more, who moved faster, who seemed happier. And slowly, without realizing it, he stopped expecting growth. He started expecting loss. And the mind always proves what it believes. Negativity rarely feels like negativity. It feels like realism. You say you're not negative. You're just being honest. But honesty without hope slowly becomes poison. What you focus on grows. What you repeat becomes identity. And eventually, your thoughts stop describing your life. They start creating it. Chapter 4. The day everything collapsed one ordinary day, nothing special happened. And yet, everything collapsed. Late to work, coffee spilled, boss irritated, traffic endless. Not disasters, just pressure, stacking on pressure. By evening, Peter felt empty. He sat alone that night. No phone, no noise, and admitted something painful. I am not angry at life. I am angry all the time. That moment mattered, because awareness is the beginning of control. Breakdowns rarely come from one big moment. They come from accumulation, pressure stacked on pressure, emotion stacked on silence. Until one day, you don't explode. You collapse. And that moment is not weakness. It's a signal. Something inside you has been ignored for too long. Chapter 5. The Unexpected Conversation. A few days later, Peter stopped at a small diner. An old man sat nearby. Quiet, peaceful, grounded. They talked casually. Then Peter asked, "How do you stay so calm?" The man smiled and said, "Life does not respond to what happens to you. It responds to how you respond." Simple words, heavy meaning. Because that sentence removes excuses. It places responsibility back in your hands. That old man did not give Peter motivation. He gave him responsibility. And responsibility is frightening, because it removes excuses. When you realize your reaction is your choice, you lose the comfort of blame. But you gain control. Life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you participate in. You may not choose the storm, but you choose whether you drown or learn to swim. That realization changes everything. Chapter 6. The First Mental Shift. Peter didn't transform overnight. He didn't become optimistic, but he became curious. He stopped asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" and started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Same problem, different interpretation. And interpretation controls emotion. Emotion controls action. That shift alone changed how he experienced life. The question you ask shapes the emotion you feel. Why me creates bitterness. Why does this always happen? Creates anger. But what can I learn? Creates movement. Same pain, different meaning. And meaning determines endurance. When pain has purpose, it becomes tolerable, even valuable. This is not positivity. This is perspective. And perspective is power. Chapter 7. What positive attitude really means. Peter learned something important. Positive attitude is not pretending to be happy. It is not smiling through pain. It is leadership. It is saying, I feel anger. I feel fear. I feel doubt. But I will not let emotion decide my behavior. Positivity is not denial. It is discipline. And discipline creates stability. Positive attitude is often misunderstood. It is not pretending to be okay. It is choosing not to be ruled by chaos. You still feel fear. You still feel anger. You still feel sadness. But you no longer let emotion take the steering wheel. You observe. You breathe. You decide. This is maturity, not emotional numbness, but emotional leadership. You stop reacting. You start responding. Chapter 8. The rules that rewired him. Peter created 3 rules, not motivational quotes. Laws. Rule 1. I cannot control events, only my response. Rule 2. Progress matters more than perfection. Rule 3. Responsibility comes before blame. At first, nothing changed. Then, everything did. Because repetition rewires identity. Identity is built quietly, through habits, through repetition, through small decisions no one applauds. Every time you choose responsibility over blame, you strengthen something invisible. Every time you pause instead of react, you reinforce control. Growth is rarely dramatic. It is boring, unseen, repetitive. But over time, those small choices compound. And one day, you realize you are no longer who you used to be. Chapter 9. Strength replaced chaos. Life didn't get easier. Problems didn't disappear. Deadlines still came. Stress still knocked. But something was different. Peter no longer collapsed. He paused. He breathed. He chose. Reaction turned into response. Chaos turned into clarity. Strength replaced panic. Not because life changed, because Peter did. Strength does not announce itself. It doesn't shout confidence. It whispers calm. When chaos appears and you remain steady, that is mastery. Not because problems disappeared, but because panic did. You stop fearing discomfort. You stop resisting reality. And life becomes lighter, not because it weighs less, because you carry it better. Chapter 10. The power of attitude. People noticed. Same job, same city, same schedule, but different presence, different energy, different confidence. Because attitude is a lens. Change the lens, and reality looks different. 2 people can live the same life. One feels punished. the other feels prepared. The difference is attitude. Two people can experience the same pain. One grows bitter, one grows wiser. The difference is not intelligence, it is interpretation. Life does not shape everyone equally. It sharpens some, it breaks others, and attitude decides which one you become. Your thoughts become habits. Habits become identity. Identity becomes destiny. Conclusion. Most people believe a positive attitude means everything will be okay. That is not true. A positive attitude says, even if it is not okay, I will handle it. Life will pressure you, delay you, test you. But life always asks one question. Who are you becoming through this? Because in the end, your attitude decides how far you go, how peaceful you live, how strong you become. You do not need a new life. You need a new lens. Change your attitude, and the same world will start feeling different. You don't need motivation every day. You need alignment between thought reaction and intention. Because life listens constantly, not to what you say, but to how you respond. Change your attitude, and without changing anything else, everything begins to feel different.
If this story helped you think, helped you feel, and helped you practice English, subscribe to Listen Between the Lines. More real stories, more clear English, more meaning in every word. Thank you for listening. Take one small action today. I'll see you in the next story. Stay strong.